Hello, Sergeant Stepdad here. Recently here in Iowa, actually it was Monday, we had a storm coming through that was power enough to be called an inland hurricane, which I don't know the actual name for it, but there is a name for it. But this storm, reaching 80 miles per hour winds, knocked down trees, knocked down power lines, ripped up roofing, threw tin sheds clear across a 4-lane road into a light pole and made it look like someone just crushed a soda can or pop can, however you want to talk about it. And I know some people are going to say, I never heard about this. Because it does not happen that much, and only time you really hear anything about happening in the Midwest is tornadoes. And every now and then I'm probably going to switch the video to something else to show off some damage that I've come across on my way back home from picking up a saw from my in-laws to help a friend cut down some trees, branches that fell over, and there's some pretty big branches. But this storm actually also tipped semis, knocked over trees on top of cars with people in them, trapping them. They actually had a garbage truck tip over and then have a tree land on top of it. I haven't heard of actual injuries from it, but I'm pretty sure there's a few injuries that have happened. Maybe even some deaths. Who knows? But you can probably see some of the poles I'm passing. One of those actually had gotten busted, and they're a couple feet thick. Either way you look at it. I mean, we do have some corn that has been almost laid flat, and they're not sure that all of it's going to be able to stand back up before it's time to harvest, and that may cause corn prices to rise. But when the storm hit, I was actually working from home because that's the way my job has been, even before the virus hit. But I went to lunch and all of a sudden lost internet and then lost power. My power didn't come back on until about 3:17 today. But that's what happens during storms. I mean, I've been through a hurricane, and it's no big deal. It was no big deal to me, because I like storms. But I was more concerned about my family, so I had them go into the basement, and I actually was down there with them, and in the off chance we needed something from upstairs while the wind was blowing 80 miles per hour, I put on my body armor and a Kevlar and went upstairs to retrieve it. That way, in case something came through a window, I didn't have protection. And they get me thinking we need to invest in a generator. Since we went 24 hours without power, and if I didn't think about putting 4 pounds of ground beef, a pound on each shelf that I had separated into 2-pound bundles, it would have probably went bad by now. But if I had a generator, I could use it to run the refrigerator and a deep freeze and keep the food fresh. it's a never-ending struggle when it comes to knowing whether or not something's gonna happen or not. But I've come to realize you always prepare. So if something happens that you weren't anticipating, next time that happens, you'll be prepared. And that's how things are gonna go. Is if you think you're prepared for everything, there's always gonna be that one thing that's gonna trip you up. Because we weren't prepared for this, but everyone in town is working together and with the cleanup. Eventually, we'll all be cleaned up and everything will go back to normal as much as possible. I mean, going down this interstate, not really much to show you. It's just looks like it's always has during the drive I've taken down this road. And yeah, there's stuff sitting on the side of the road, but that's nothing new to anyone else. And like the corner right beside me right now, there may be some spots that are a little low, but it still seems like it's standing pretty good. Here, I mean, I saw some on the other side of the road on the way to my in-laws, but not really seeing much on the way back. I mean, I've seen a few twisted signs, but I haven't been able to show you. I only have one camera available, but probably here soon I'm going to probably come up to the thicker part of the trees, and there'll probably be some stuff tipped over or what have you. And I would recommend checking up on your family. And I probably don't know how soon I'll be able to post my videos, because if I were to try to do it through my cell phone, more than likely I won't be able to. Maybe when I get home and the internet's working, I can upload this probably on Wednesday. And if you see it on Wednesday, it means I got it uploaded. Stop the video and flip around and let you see just kind of what I'm seeing. Alright, this is pretty much what I'm seeing. You see that pole, how thick it is? That's one of the ones that snapped. But as you can see, everywhere, like, has construction. And, man, there's a tree that tipped over. I mean, you'll probably see it better in a larger screen. I mean, as I said, there's not really much damage on this interstate. It's just like normal. This is kind of a lower area where the wind has more issues coming through than in a higher raised area. And usually you can tell what's freshly knocked over by how green it is. And yeah, there's some small twig branches here and there tipped over. And there's a tree that's tipped over, but it looks like it's been there a while. And sorry if the video's bouncy, because I don't have any way to stabilize the video in my car. But you have people like got you off and all that, even when you're going the speed limit. I'm very sure some people understand that feeling. But yeah, I think you can probably see it a little bit. But I'm trying to adjust the video a little bit so you can kind of see into like the side of the road. You can see all the sticks. And, well, I'm trying to see if I can get a view of the corn for you. But we passed all the corn. But further out in the bean field, there's some corn, and with my eye, I can see some of it knocked over, but not all of it. And I'm gonna switch back around now and continue with the rest of the video. I decided to show you what it's like in the town I live in. I mean, some of it's already been cleaned up, but you'll see some of the damage. Like up ahead on the left is a tree that actually fell over and blocked pretty much, well, a third of the road, and it still is. And you can see more branches down on the right. The company finally turned that into an actual gas station again. And you'll see a lot of leaves and stuff on the road. And now coming up, you will see they got the power line put up. But the power line you see right now, I'm up and left, that was down pretty low. But you can see all these the branches and damage, all that, just from this little drive. I'll get back to the regular video once I reach my final destination. Just very devastating. Luckily it doesn't sound like many houses were hit in town, but you can see, if you can see it, there's a cable right there on the road. That's, I believe, for cable. But yeah, there's lots and lots of cars on the road. Be home shortly. Alright, there's a house on the other side of that Danish house. That house got hit pretty hard. They actually had a corner of their house damaged. And I am home and back to the regular video. Yeah, that's some of the damage, and I mean, I can't really show you more, and because it's more damage has been more in town than out of town. But our governor did a disaster proclamation for several of the counties, and the individuals that have been are still trying to recover some of the stuff or anything like that are going to be without food or eat for a while. Well, ways to keep your food cold. They're going to be able to get some financial support on that aspect, because not everyone in this world can sit and spend a couple months off and be able to maintain their bills and keeping food in the house. I'm one of those people. I'm just glad I get to work from home. And I was working from home before this started, and my wife still works. The Army also it's keeping things going for me as well. I mean, they did virtual battle assemblies, and we continuously train, and we're still actually training. I had training last weekend and was instructed to actually come into the unit and do the training. I'm pretty sure you guys can't really see me unless I move over. And yes, I do have purple striped seat covers. And I don't care what you say about it. They came with the car, and I just didn't really care to change them. Because, let's face it, this car is probably on its last leg by now, and I'm hoping to get a 91 Camaro up and running to replace this car. So, until next time, whether you're related by blood, marriage, or adoption, you're a family, and you should always check on any family member that has gone through a natural disaster or disaster type event, because you never know. They may need emotional support or help with clearing out the bad parts of the event that happened. And see you next time.